everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Garceau twins and today we're sharing our March favorites, so let's get into it. So this we've actually been using for a couple months, but we forgot to put it in last month's favorite, and it is an ice roller. It just says ice roller. I think Carly's might be a little bit different, but we got them on Amazon. They're super inexpensive, around $10, and basically you keep this part in the fridge and it's hard. In the freezer. And it's hard. It's not, I thought like online it looked a bit softer, but it's definitely a piece of like hard plastic, which is fine. And you keep it in the freezer and then you pop it onto the handle and you just like massage your face with it in the morning. And I find that it really wakes up my skin and depuffs everything, and it kind of gives your skin like a nice natural glow before you go in with makeup, and it just feels really nice. It's a really nice experience and I would totally recommend it. It's good for like blood circulation, obviously to depuff your under eyes, and it's headaches. It's good for a lot of things, and it's a natural like way to remedy those types of things, so definitely recommend this. Moving on to skincare, first up is this Elemis Superfood Facial Oil, and they sent us their whole superfood collection, and our favorite products from it were this and the face wash, which we put in a weekly favorites or monthly. One of them. Yeah. But the facial oil is really nice. It has a really thin consistency. It smells like greens. I'm not really sure what exactly is in it, but it said it's antioxidant and omega-rich superfoods, nourish and hydrate. I personally think like most facial oils have the same effect, like they're very nourishing and hydrating. So really I just look for something that has like a good consistency, and I really like this. I think it's a top-notch facial oil. Next up are these Ulta Beauty Bronze Glow Self-Tanning Glow by Morning Gradual Tan Drops for the face. It says just add your moisturizer. We did a full review video on their like Express Tan, and we mentioned this in that video, but we have continued to use these. They're really nice. First of all, the dropper is angled, which I love. I don't know why all other droppers aren't like this. Well, I think it's just unnecessary, but it's cool. I like it. I don't know. I think it's like easier to be precise because you can like put it inside your moisturizer, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I like that it's angled, and you just add like 2, 3, 4 drops to your moisturizer at night, and over time it does give the skin a really nice natural glow. Like it's a really slight gradual tan, but we really like it because we don't really like using self tanner on our face because it just clogs your pores, you know, it's not good for your skin. We have sensitive skin. Yeah, and so this is like a good alternative to us to like match when we do self tan our bodies. And I don't know, it doesn't cause me to break out. It doesn't really have a strong scent. You get a fluid ounce, and it was super inexpensive. Yeah, it doesn't look patchy. Yeah, I will say I cut my finger pretty bad from this top, so be careful when you're twisting it. For some reason it's just very sharp. Just wanted to give you a warning. But yeah, this is really good for the summer because we don't wear makeup every day, so it's nice to just give your skin like a healthy glow. Okay, next is a brush favorite, and this is the ColourPop Small Stipple brush. Is that what it's called? F9. It's called F9. Yeah, they have numbers on them now. This brush, let me tell you, I've already bought 2, one I use for creams and one I use for powders. We initially started using it for like contour. Yeah, because we don't really contour that often because we haven't found a brush that does it naturally. Yeah, because this really gives a light coat of any contour product you use, cream or powder. And it's like a really great size to get in the hollow of your cheeks. And I also love it for cream blush. Like I said, I have 2, one I use for powder, one for creams. And it just goes on the apple of your cheek so perfectly. I also feel like you could even put foundation on with this. Or highlighter. Yeah, it's just a universal, amazing brush. It does shed a little, but it's really soft. And I like might be my new favorite brush permanently. Love it so much. And we just did our favorite brushes video, which is funny because then we got this after, but this would have been in it for sure. This is the Pixi Skin Treats Rose Flash Balm Instant Skin Booster, and I was so uncertain about this when I first used it, and then I saw so many people on YouTube talking about it. Rach Loves stands out in my mind. I'm sure I saw a few others, but you can use it as a primer, a moisturizer, or a mask. If you want to use it as a mask, you obviously put more on and leave it on for a little bit longer, but I use it as a primer like most other people do, and it is like a super thick consistency, which I love because it feels like it is moisturizing the skin under your makeup, and it does have a little bit of like a silicone feel, but not, I don't know, I don't want to say it feels like a silicone primer. Like it's not like a pore filling primer. It doesn't market it that way, but it does feel like a hydrating pore filling hybrid in a way. Kind of silky. Silky, that's a good word to use. And so I just use like the tiniest amount, and then I find the best way to use it for my skin is that I like pat it on, and then I use like my fan that I use to dry my setting spray, and I fan my face for a little bit until it feels a little bit sticky, and then I'll go in with my foundation. I think in the past I wasn't letting it dry enough, and so when I put my foundation on top of it, it didn't really feel like it was priming or doing anything in that sense. But once I like dry it a little bit before, just wait basically before you go in with makeup, and then I find that it works really well. It just makes my skin look super hydrated and smooth all day long. Okay, next up is an eyeshadow palette that everyone's talking about. It is the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat. I'm sure you've seen it, but it looks like this. And we said this a lot recently on our channel, but we love small palettes. I personally get very overwhelmed with large palettes. Yeah. Just because I don't wear a lot of eyeshadow and I'm like, I don't need it all. And this is like so great for traveling because it's just 6 pans. It's really small. Like if you can tell, we have small hands. And this is like about the size of it. And the colors in here are just beautiful. Like they're warm, but they're also neutral. Like this side of the spectrum, like I feel like these 2 shades are actually pretty neutral. They're not very warm. And then these 3 are warm. So most days I'll just go in with this shade and this shade, like this one all over, this one in the crease, and I think it looks really pretty and natural. But then you can obviously amp it up with these darker, warm, beautiful tones. I think this is great for all year round, like fall, spring, summer, winter, all of it. Definitely like one of my favorite palettes now. I think it's so good. Next up is a bronzer. This is Take Home the Bronze Anti-Orange Bronzer in the shade Oscar by The Balm. And it is just a really, really stunning bronzer. It doesn't even look that special in the pan, and it looks really, really light in the pan in my opinion. And then on the skin it definitely gets deeper, but this is the lightest shade that they have. And I love The Balm because they don't put talc in their products, which is awesome because it doesn't irritate my skin. So I was super excited to try this bronzer because I love their blushes. They have some of the best blushes ever in existence. And this is just so beautiful. Like it blends out really nice on the skin. I feel like because they're anti-orange, you could use them to contour because they are such a neutral tone. But I use it to bronze because I kind of bronze contour in one. Like I just put it at this part of my cheek, but I still put it all over my face, not just as a contour, and it works that way as well. So I think this is just such a good option if you're looking for a bronzer that fits most skin tones because there is no orange in it, which is awesome. It's hard to find, I feel like. Okay, next up is a blush favorite, and this is one of the new Bare Minerals Gen Nude Powder Blushes in the shade Call My Blush. This is my new favorite blush. And let me just tell you, we both really don't gravitate towards like these pinky blushes. Yeah. Which I would say this is like a pink mauve. Normally I like very like nude toned blushes that almost look like bronzers, like very unassuming in the pan, and then once it's on your skin it's really bronzy and pretty. But I have fallen in love with this. I think the color, I'm wearing it right now, it just livens up your face. Like since I wear really natural makeup most days, I feel like a strong blush just looks nice. I actually filmed a 5-minute makeup routine, like my everyday makeup, which will be going up after this, and I use this in that, so you'll kind of see like how my natural makeup plus this looks. And I just love how the color looks so natural, like it really looks like naturally flushed cheeks. And I love the formula. We swatched these, funny story. Yeah. We saw these in Ulta before we even heard about them, and we're like, oh my god, there's new Bare Minerals blushes. And we were swatching all the shades, and they like were not showing up on our hands. And then we kept swatching and it would just disappear. Yeah, it was so like, weird. Oh my god, like how disappointing. And then they were getting such good reviews, and we were like, okay, we might have to try these again. And then I went back to Ulta and swatched a ton of them. And then on my car ride home, I was like, actually, these are super pretty. Like they have a really pretty sheen, and they actually are kind of pigmented. And then I picked this one up, and really it doesn't swatch well. Like that's really moral of the story. But when it's on your cheeks, it kind of, even though it looks matte, I feel like it has a little bit of a sheen. Some of them actually do have shimmer in them, but this is one of the matte ones. And has a really beautiful sheen. Like I feel like it almost looks like a cream blush. It looks that natural. I don't know, I could go on and on. I love this so much. And actually, I didn't really love a lot of the other colors. I really just highly... They have really pretty nude ones though. Yeah, I just highly recommend this one just because I feel like this mauve undertone would look good on everyone. Next up is a foundation favorite. This is the Revlon Insta Filter Foundation. This is the shade 210 Sand Beige, and it actually comes with a sponge on top. I don't even know if I should open this. That looks so messy. It does look so messy. It came with a sponge on top, but I was watching Leanne Says her March favorites, and she put this in there, but she said she hates the sponge because it's gross, because it is really gross. Like, the product comes up through the sponge, and it's not like a sponge you can even use to do your makeup, so it's just soaking in product, so you're just losing product, so it doesn't even make sense. So this is more sanitary, so I ripped it off. But it looks nicer when you buy it. But I love how this looks on the skin. I'm wearing it today, and this shade is actually, like, I thought it would be too dark, but once you blend it out, it actually looks really good on my skin. It's a true neutral shade, which is hard to find. And it comes out a little bit thicker, but as soon as you start blending with a beauty blender, it really thins out, and I would say it's like a medium coverage.
Yeah.
A medium coverage, and it gives like a natural finish. I wouldn't say it's dewy, wouldn't say it's matte. But it lasts all day long on the skin. It doesn't sink into any of my fine lines. I just truly love this. I think that it looks so good on the skin.
It's really pretty. If you guys, our Revlon video will go up after this.
So we do a first impressions, and we loved it in that video, and then we continue to use it.
It's really, really good.
It is pricey for the drugstore, but I think it's worth it because, in my opinion, it looks like a high-end foundation on the skin. Okay, last but not least is the new Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. I have the shade 1C. They sent us all of them, so we just kind of divided them.
Yeah.
And normally we go for neutral undertones, so Britta took that one. And 1N and 2N were so different from each other, even the tones, so I have to mix them regardless.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, this looks really pink, but actually I love this for under the eyes. I feel like the color is very brightening and just really beautiful, and I love this concealer. I was so blown away. I'm wearing it today. I think it blends so nicely. I'd say it's a medium coverage. I definitely don't think it's full, which I do think they say it's full.
I think it's medium too, though.
But yeah, it says ultra long wear. I would agree with that. I think it stays on all day. I normally, like, on a daily basis, I wear the Glossier Stretch Concealer. Like, that one is not long wearing. Before I was like, aren't all concealers long wearing? Like, aren't they all there at the end of the day? But that one isn't. So this one and like Tarte Shape Tapes, they last super long. But yeah, it's definitely medium coverage, but it's just so beautiful. Like, it blends so nice. I'd say it's like a satin matte finish. I am just so impressed. It doesn't sink into my fine lines. It doesn't make my under eyes look dry, which is a huge problem of mine. Like, even Shape Tape can make my under eyes just look so dry. So I don't know, I could go on and on. I think this is so good. I know it's expensive. I think it's worth the money, but I think concealer is so personal that, you know, everyone's gonna have a different opinion. We personally would rather spend money on concealer than foundation, because we don't like full coverage foundation or anything. So I feel like I would rather my under eyes look bright and awake, and like my skin just look, I don't know.
Yeah,
plus you don't use a ton, or I mean, we don't use a ton of concealer, so I feel like it lasts long. But yeah, I will say, I think it makes my under eyes look dry when I wear it with a foundation and powder. I think it looks better when I wear it without foundation. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely one you can wear without foundation and with.
Yeah, because it looks so good when you first like blend it out. Even when I put it on top of foundation and I blend it out, it looks so pretty. But then as soon as I put powder on top, and I've used the powder, it's the Glossier powder, it's like my go-to with so many other concealers, and it never makes them look dry. So I think just it mixed with powder on my eyes makes it look dry, but if I wear it without foundation, it looks beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching our March favorites. Let us know down below if you've tried any of these products.